Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the step-up spawn that just came out with Midsummer Advocate Kenshin. We have another OP monster for guild battles. So, started off with Magnus, and now we're moving on to Kenshin. And this time, it's actually obtainable for people who can't spend a crap ton of gems. But if you could stretch 110 gems, you could spawn this monster. So, I'm going to talk about the step-up spawn first, considering it's going to be pretty basic. It's pretty much usually like how all other step-up spawns go, except for the last step. It's not, the only rate you're dealing with is stats. So, that's the only thing that's going to be random about step 3 is the stats. You're guaranteed the full-blown Kenshin at the last step-up. This is 110 gems, by the way. 50 plus 4 equals 90. 90 plus 20 equals 110. It's pretty much just like every other step-up spawn to the core except for the last step. You got guaranteed 1 cost 28 or higher SSR weapon and 1 cost 29 or higher SSR armor. Being granted also the guarantee, the cost you're guaranteed is going to be a tad bit higher than they do in the regular step-up spawns. When you're spawning for gear, you've done these step-up spawns before. When you're like going through the gear part of the spawn, it's going to play out the same way. So it's pretty basic for that. Only difference is you're getting 3 droplets of ether instead of like some type of orb. And that's the only big difference. So step-up spawns are going to be like usual with other step-up spawns and what's not. So we're here for the one and only. There's no new gear, by the way, either. So I don't have nothing to really talk about when it comes to that. So we are here for the one and only Kenshin to see if this 110 gems is going to be worth it. So right off the bat, just straight up right off the bat, it's 38 cost monster. So that's already looking good already, considering it's a 38 cost monster. And it's the first one that's got Awakening too. Or is it? Yeah, it's the first one that's got Awakening. So that right there is off the bat already good. Also on top of it, so the spawn's looking really good so far. So let's take a look at it and see what we got cooking with this monster. Watermelon Burst increases the activation priority of this effect by 1. So this monster is one of those ones like Madia, Redivir, Belva, Kumbahira. This monster's gonna go first. It does no damage. Take a look. Increases fire, water, wind, light, dark time, and star elemental attack by 2, but the it gets boosted by 1 for each increase in skill level. So it goes up to a total of, I think, what is it? 2 plus 5 equals like, what, 7? It's kind of a weird number, but I mean, they do them. 2 plus 5 is 7. You got 5 levels, so I mean, they do them. I'm not complaining. It's better than 6. I thought it was 6, so it's actually 7. That's a little bit better than 7, so it does help. That's a player versus enemy type buff, though. Not going to help a player versus player or Coliseum whatsoever, except for maybe like a bit of Unison damage. That's really the only thing that's really going to help for that. Other than that, that's definitely all hands down a player versus enemy buff that's only going to really help with player versus enemy. And what it does is it helps increase the damage unless the opponent you're fighting has no element, because elemental advantage is going to do a thing. It's going to help out with your damage and stuff like that. So anyways, moving on from there, let's go to what else it has. Heals 10% of max HP every 5 seconds for 50 seconds. If I remember, it does something like that in the effect over here too. Oh, at 20% every 5 seconds for 50 seconds over here. So it gets boosted for 20% every 5 seconds for 50 seconds if you manage to get it to its second awakening. It's going to remove status elements for all allies. It's going to reduce physical and magical damage taken by 40% for 50 seconds. It's going to apply stun to all enemies with a success value of 80. So that's a decently high success value to be casting stun. It's going to reduce the usage gauge by 20, remove 20 costs, and then it's going to apply blessing on yourself. This, all hands down, my friends or my viewers, whichever one you are, is a nasty monster for player versus, well, not player versus player, but more towards guild battles. I mean, you could say it could be potentially nasty in like Coliseum. It could be clutch in Coliseum, but this monster shines the most in guild battles. This is a nasty monster for guild battles. Absolutely. This is almost as good as Madia, if not better than Madia. The only thing that Madia's got that's different than it is the fact that it takes like 2 full hits, it turns them to 0 damage, and then on top of it, it straight up heals. This monster's also got continuous heal, so that continuous heal is going to carry over. So it has that activation priority to go first no matter almost what. And then you got that continuous heal to help keep healing while you're taking damage. You got the reduced physical and magical damage taken by 40% for 50 seconds, just like Madia. And then it's got like a little Renevere twist as well. It's got like a twist with like Renevere and Superbia. It takes away Unison, and then it removes 20 costs. Now this, if you're doing like a full-blown Unison battle, that removes Unison by 20%. Is it going to be helpful? What that could be used for also is when you're doing Unison haste, like your treasure hunter or your soldier trying to get Unison fast, you could use that. It could be like a Keyroid substitutes also, so that's also another beneficial thing with this monster. But yeah, this monster is pretty much like a 38 cost version of Madia. So overall, for 110 gems guaranteed, and yes, 110 gems, not like 600 gems to 900 gems like these types of treasure spawns, but instead 110 gems, I'd definitely say, all hands down, this monster is worth it. But be cautious, there is one small little warning I have to warn you about. Well, first of all, if you're new to this game, make sure you do the full step up. If you're not doing the full step up, no reason to really be doing this. Don't go for like step up 1, then do step up 2, and then quit halfway because you don't have enough gems. If you downright don't have enough gems, don't spawn whatsoever. Please, you're wasting your gems. You're legitimately wasting your gems. Wait until they do another spawn like this again, or save up for a special spawn where they guarantee a monster of nearly 34 cost or higher. Not all the way, there's 133 cost, but other than that, the rest are 34 cost and stuff like that. And the next thing is, again, it will have random stats, so be cautious of that. Other than that, very good spawn. That's all for this video. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped out. This is the AzureWrath, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.